Welcome to Flip Lesson 75, 6th grade. We've looked at changing fractions into decimals. Now we want to talk about changing fractions and decimals into percentages and how we're going to go about doing this process. Right? So in the end, we're looking for a relationship that, percentages is all about 100%. And so there's a relationship there that we want to see between fractions and decimals. It says 7/10 to start. And so we want it to equal something over 100, all right? And so how does this 10 here become 100? Well, we're going to multiply by 10, 10 times 10. And if I do it by the bottom, I want to do it by the top. And so 10 times 10 equals 100. And so 7 times 10 equals 70 over 100. Now, as we think about this, we can say, well, 100% is complete or whole. And so 70 out of 100. Right, we would say that this is 70% out of 100%. And so a fraction changed to that way is going to give us this idea of 70%. And so looking over here, we see that when we have a fraction that's put in this form already, we can easily see that 70 out of 100 is 70% right away. And we can see that relationship between these ideas. However, things aren't always that pretty, right? It says of the 40 students that took the quiz, 16 of them received an A. What percentage of the class got an A? So this time we're going to start with this idea. We have 16 over 40, and we want it to equal something over 100. Okay. Now there's a couple different steps that we can take. Step number one might be looking here at our 16 and our 40 and realizing that that is a reducible fraction. And so if I divide both of them by 4, I'm going to get an answer of 4 over 10. And that fraction is much, much easier to convert into this idea, 4, because now we have this right here. Because 10 times 10 is going to give us 100, and 10 times 4 is going to give us 40. And so in the end, we have an answer of 40%. Right? And so we have that idea. So sometimes you got to look for relationships in that way. If not, you could try and figure out how 40 goes into 100 by dividing 100 by 40. But of course, you're going to see that's going to take a little bit more work than what you might want to do. So it's best to try and look at this fraction, see if you can reduce it first, and then see if our reduced fraction is going to help us solve our problem in an easier way. Okay. Then, what about decimals? Right? It says 0.15 as a percentage. Now 0.15 is really 15 hundredths. That's how you read it. So if it's 15 hundredths, very quickly we see it's 15%. So in the end, what we've done is we've taken this number right here and we've multiplied by 100, right? Because multiplying by 100 is going to move the decimal 1, 2 to the right, which gives us our 15%. So if we apply that here, right, 9 hundredths, right? Easily write that, or just multiply by 100. And so we're going to move the decimal 1, 2, quickly gives us 9%. Then down here we can see, okay, well we have 0.6, so we could just do 6/10. And how does that equal something over 100? Right, that's going to be times 10 times 10, so that's going to be 60 over 100. And very easily we can see we get 60%. Or you can take 0.6 times 100, and what that's going to do is we're going to move our decimal once and then twice, so we're going to get 60%. And so you have that process also. All right, that's a look at changing fractions and decimals into percentages. Here are some examples to get you on your way as you work with this idea. That's lesson 75.